Take a few more rounds of breath. Keep softening the muscles around your eyes and ears. Allow the sound of your breath to fill your room. Keep your face relaxed and your eyes closed. Just start to raise your hands up and then swivel your hands on top of your heart. And so, as opposed to our palms exactly stacked, just start to slide your hands away from one another slightly and hook your thumbs. This is called Swabhava Mudra. It's like you're placing a butterfly across your chest. So breathe into the base of your hands and spread your fingers wide across your collarbones. And just notice that as you inhale, your hands lift. And exhale, your hands can soften down. Okay. And blink open your eyes. And then keep your hands across your chest. So this pattern of movement we're going to do today is going to be influenced by the Swabhava Mudra. As you inhale, let your arms raise, but your thumbs stay hooked for the moment. And as you exhale now, allow your arms to open up into Prana Mudra. So the palms face in, fingers spread wide. Your fingers should be in line with your eyes and your ears. Inhale, raise your arms up. And then exhale, go ahead and hook your thumbs and then place your palms across your chest. And just pause here for a moment. So that's going to be the pattern. The inhale, we're going to open and expand. And then exhale, gather in. And if you want, you can switch which hand is on top and which hand is underneath. It doesn't really matter. Let's start. Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, open up. Inhale, gather in. And exhale, soften your hands on top of your heart. So you know the pattern. Let's do this 3 times on your own. Maybe you can close your eyes as you do this. Can you keep the expression on your face soft? The muscles relaxed. Just start to incorporate the space above your body into this opening meditation. After you complete this 3rd round, just pause with your hands on top of your heart. Blink open your eyes once again. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, open up into Prana Mudra, and then pause here. Now, bring your fingers forward, your arms forward, and then cross your right arm underneath your left. Okay, right arm underneath. And then from here, just start to see if you can stack your elbows, reach as far back as you can, and then maybe give yourself a giant hug, reaching for your shoulder blades, or wrapping your forearms. Maybe the palms turn in. Okay? So we're in Garudasana arms. Now from here, pull your elbows and your forearms away from you. If you're giving yourself a giant hug, keep squeezing your upper arms and elbows towards one another, but still reach your elbows away. Sit up tall. Inhale, press into your sitting bones, and then let your fingertips or elbows raise up. And then exhale, dive your elbows in towards your belly, and then round. Press into your sitting bones. Inhale, arch your spine and gaze up. And exhale, round. One more, like you're flossing behind your heart. Okay. This time as you inhale, press into your sitting bones and bring your elbows in line with your shoulders. And then unwind your arms and then open up into Prana Mudra. And then exhale, bring your palms together and then draw them in front of your heart. And then hook your thumbs and swivel your palms across your chest. Let's do that on the other side. Inhale, raise your arms up above the crown. Exhale, open up into Prana Mudra. And then now, arms glide forward. Left arm this time underneath. And in this moment, make sure that you're reaching as far to the left and right as you can so that your elbows stack. That's the priority here. And then either give yourself a giant hug, reaching for the shoulder blades. They don't have to necessarily reach, or wrap your forearms, palms face in. Okay. And so here it's super critical that we're pulling the elbows away while we sit up tall. That's the flossing action that you're going to feel. So that as you press into your sitting bones, you'll feel that flossing action as you raise your heart up and gaze up. And now exhale, round your spine, dive in. Do 2 more like that. And so it's the similar action of this inhale, pressing down the apana, the downward force, so that we can raise our heart, prana, the upward force. Let's do one more. And that's prana with a lowercase p, by the way, as opposed to prana, which also means breath. And then pause once your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Unwind. Come back into Prana Mudra with the palms facing in. And then exhale, gather your palms in front of your heart. Hook your thumbs into your sternum. Place your palms down in front of your shins. Roll over. And then from here, let's come into a kneeling position, sitting up on our heels with the knees and toes towards one another. And then squish your heels in towards your glutes. Walk your hands forward. Okay. And then from here, tent your fingers. So it's almost like you're creating suction cups with your hands so that the palms of your hands lift up while you anchor your fingers down, if that makes sense. And then now just start to soften your forehead down, but keep your arms active. So just start to feel the engagement of your shoulders and your arms. Press your finger pads down. Just imagine that there was a cupcake underneath each of your hands. Okay. So keep allowing your belly to rest on your thighs. And we're going to come into a thread the needle shape from here, from this child's pose. So keep your left hand suction cup to the earth, gaze forward, and then take your right hand with the palm up and then dive it underneath your belly, your chest, and then reach towards the left. And then maybe rest on the outside of your right shoulder. And you can keep your left hand tented, or you can soften your palm down. This might feel more intensive than a traditional thread the needle in tabletop. Truthfully, it's just a little bit different. And of course, some of you take this upright by reaching your arm across your chest. Make any adjustments that you need. Take one more round of breath here. Press into your palm. And as you inhale, unthread your right arm and extend your fingers forward. And then now take your hands and tent them once again, just as a starting place, so that you can take your left hand with the palm facing up and thread underneath your belly. Reach towards the right as much as you can, then allow yourself to rest on the outside of your left shoulder. You can always stay or let your right palm melt down. And just pause and breathe. Breathe into the outside of your shoulder. As you inhale, unthread your left arm forward. And then now let both palms rest down, elbows and forearms, and then tuck your chin in towards your chest. Just come into this closed knee child's pose for about 3 rounds of breath here. Keep sinking your chest down. Breathe into this shape before we move. Take one more round of breath here. On your next inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. And shift your weight forward, coming into hands and knees or tabletop. Separate your knees so that they're about hips width distance apart. Tuck all 10 of your toes. And then make sure that your thigh bones are perpendicular to the earth and that your shoulders are above your wrist creases. As you inhale, tip your sitting bones up, soften your belly, and pull your heart forward. And we did this yesterday. Imagine that you were trying to put the back of your head towards your tailbone. Exhale, press into your hands, knees, and toes around your spine. Imagine that the crown of your head, we're pulling towards your pubic bone. There's a little bit of a deeper cat-cow motion of the spine. So do this on your own. This movement that our bodies know super well. Let's do one more round. Come into a neutral tabletop on your next inhale. Bring your knees and toes closer to one another. Slide your left toes back behind you. Pivot your left foot so it's parallel to the back edge of your mat. Kickstand your right toes behind you. And then now take a look at your right hand and make sure it's directly underneath your shoulder or directly under above your wrist. And then now take your left hand, place it on your hip. Rotate your torso to the left. Okay, from here, feel like as though you're in one plane, like there was a pane of glass in front of you and behind you. And then sweep your fingertips, your left fingertips forward and up. Rotate your torso and gaze underneath your upper arm. And then from here, wave your left hand down towards your left leg and then trace your fingertips forward. So you're creating a giant circle in space. Now we'll flow. Exhale, lower. One more giant circle in this direction. Inhale, raise your left arm up. And exhale, lower. This time, raise your left arm up. Pause here. Now, hug your navel in towards your spine. Zip your pubic bone up. And then from here, come up onto your right finger pads. And then take your left hand with the palm down and then sweep it down. And then maybe use the strength of your core to come up. Left palm down. Inhale, sweep your right fingertips forward and then up overhead. Reach up and overhead by your right fingernails and then rotate your torso up. Inhale here. And exhale, reach your fingertips forward. And then come back slowly into that modified side plank by placing your right hand underneath the shoulder. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. And exhale, place your left hand down. And adjust your feet so that you can come back into a tabletop position. We'll do that same thing on the other side. With your knees and toes towards one another. Now step your right foot back behind you. Pivot your right foot. Kickstand your left. Okay. Adjust your left palm. It should be directly underneath the left shoulder. Now right hand on top of your hip. so that you can press into your palm and stack your hips. So you feel like you're in one long plane. Take your right hand and sweep it forward, forward, and up overhead. Now rotate your torso and gaze underneath your right arm. So let's just breathe here. Create space along your hip. Take a deep breath in here. And now exhale, flip your right palm down and then press down until your hand reaches towards your right hip. Inhale, sweep your right hand forward and up. And exhale, wave your arm down. One more like that. Inhale. So it's just a modified side plank with an arm flow. This time as you inhale, sweep your right fingertips forward and up overhead. Pause here. So cinch your belly in. Come up onto your left finger pad so that they're tented. Flip your right palm down. And then can you wave your arm down and then come all the way up? Take your time. Right palm down. And then inhale, sweep your left fingertips forward and then up overhead so you're in gate. Rotate your torso and gaze underneath your left upper arm this time. And just pause and breathe. Let your left rib cage open up. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, take your left fingertips and then trace them forward, forward, and then come back into that modified side plank by placing your left hand down. Inhale, sweep your right arm forward and up. And exhale, place your palm down. Adjust your feet. Return to tabletop. And so now in tabletop, walk your hands forward about a handprint. Keep your toes tucked. And as you press into your palm, start to lift up by your tailbone. And shift your hips back, arms by your ears, downward facing dog. And keep your knees bent here. Keep lifting up by your sitting bones. And now start to lower your heels down, but keep a slight bend of your knees. Let's do a little pulsation here. So keep pressing down into your palms, spread your fingers wide. As you inhale, lift up onto the balls of your feet. Exhale, lower your heels down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. One more. On your next inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. As you exhale, tiptoe your way to the top of your space for a forward fold. Feet about hips width distance apart, and bend your knees a lot, more than you think you need to, so that you can rest your belly on your upper thighs, and then clasp opposite elbow points here. Slowly sway side to side. Notice what that feels like in the space where your hamstring meets your glute. One more round of breath here. This Uttanasana, forward fold. Release your elbows. Take your hands along the backs of your legs. And as you press into your feet, slowly roll up, leading with the back of your heart and ending with the crown of your head. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, place your hands on top of your heart for Swabhava Mudra. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Just pause here and recalibrate the breath. Blink open your eyes. Inhale, raise your arms up above your crown. Exhale, open up into Prana Mudra. Inhale, raise your arms up. This time, allow your palms to touch, so that as you exhale, you can bring your hands in front of your face and heart as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms and step back to a downward facing dog. Then bring your big toes to touch. As you anchor your left heel down, inhale, fan your right toes open and raise your right leg up. Exhale, patiently lower your right foot down next to your left. Anchor your right heel down, fan your left toes, and inhale, raise your left leg up. Exhale, lower. Gaze forward between your thumbs, bend your knees, and then carefully walk forward to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground down into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, just lower your hands down. So we're gonna move through a one-legged Tadasana. It's gonna be a little different than yesterday. It's gonna be a little bit less intensive. It's more of a transition, okay? So we're gonna start at the top of our mats. Ground down into your right foot. Then inhale, raise your left foot up any amount. And then exhale, push your left foot back so you can come into a crescent lunge. So it might take you a few hops, and a few wiggles to get there. So once you're in a high lunge, inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Palms to touch, and then exhale, open up into warrior two. So pause here in this first warrior two. Make sure that your right knee is bent at about a 90-degree angle and that the right knee is pointing forward. So from here, we're gonna flow between warrior two on the right and the left. So as you inhale, press into your right foot, bring your hands together to Swabhava Mudra. Turn your toes to face the side of your mat. And as you exhale, you're gonna open up into warrior two, on the left. So push out through your fingernails. So pause here for this first pass through. Again, bend your left knee about 90 degrees and make sure the knee is going in the same direction as the toes. So let's flow now. Inhale, gather in. Straighten through your left leg, turn your toes to face the side of your mat space. Exhale, warrior two on the right. Inhale, gather in. Turn your toes. Exhale, open up. So we're gonna move through this one more time on the left and the right. And you'll notice that I'm trying to keep my arms in about the same plane so that they're level with my shoulders. This time, as you inhale, gather your hands in. Exhale, warrior two on the right. And then from here, sweep your left hand forward and then lift up onto the ball of your left foot. So you return to crescent lunge, arms raised up. And then exhale, step your left foot forward, lower your arms and shake out your legs. Okay, so we're gonna add on here. We're gonna make it a little bit more complex. This time, place weight into your left foot, raise your right foot up any amount. So that as you exhale, you can push out through the ball of your right foot and step back into a crescent lunge. And know that as you inhale, raise your arms up. It's serving the purpose as a transition to open up into warrior two on the left. So we're gonna start on the left just for equilibrium's sake. So you can watch this first round. We have done this movement before. This time as you inhale, press into your left foot, gather your hands in to Swabhava Mudra, but don't turn your toes yet, because as you exhale, you're gonna reach forward with your left hand, and then just start to tip forward, come into Trikonasana, triangle. This time as you inhale, come up, sweep your arms in, now turn your toes, and then exhale, warrior two on the right. So it's very similar to what we just did. We're just adding that Trikonasana bit. Inhale, gather in, Swabhava Mudra. Exhale, reach forward, and then tip forward, Trikonasana on the right. Inhale, big movement as you turn your toes and gather your hands in. Exhale, warrior two on the left. Inhale, gather in. Exhale, reach forward, and then tip back. Inhale. And exhale, warrior two on the right. We'll complete this cycle on the right. Inhale. And exhale, reach. And don't worry, we're going to have an opportunity to hold this momentarily. Inhale this time as you come forward. Reach, gathering. Then exhale, warrior two on the left. Okay. Sweep your right hand down. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot. And then step forward. And shake out your legs. Okay. So let's add on here. Place weight into your right foot. Raise your left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot back for crescent lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Okay. Inhale, gather your hands in Swabhava Mudra, straighten your right leg. And this time, reach forward and then tip forward, raise your left arm up. So let's pause here. If you feel super spread out, you can always kind of inch your left foot in slightly. Okay, so now, since we're holding it, imagine that you are pressing your left palm into something, maybe a pane of glass. Rotate your shoulders and stack your hips. Then can you place your right palm on your shin or thigh as opposed to a block? Okay. On your next inhale, bend into your right knee, warrior two. We're going to change it up. And then from here, flip your palms to face behind you and then swivel them and clasp your hands to the webbing. Keep your elbows bent. Roll your shoulders up by your ears and then squeeze your elbows behind you. Inhale, straighten your arms, lower your fist, raise your heart. And as you exhale, maybe you can tip forward, reaching your fist up and above your crown as you hinge forward for humble warrior two. And if being in this inverted shape, it's not possible to squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine, of course you can do this more upright. So use the strength of your legs to keep you stable here. One more round of breath. And slowly use your fist as a pendulum to raise the crown of your head up. And then relax your fists. And then lift your left heel up, swivel forward, and then just step forward. And shake out your legs. Okay. Place weight into your left foot. Raise your right leg up, any amount. Exhale, push back for the heel. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Swabhava Mudra, press into your left foot to straighten. And then exhale, reach forward. And in this moment, if you feel like you're about to tip over, again, right foot can just scoot forward and then tip forward. Left palm on the top of your shin or thigh, and then reach up by your right fingernails. And open your palm like you're pressing your hand into a pane of glass. Stack your hips and then roll your shoulder back. And then breathe here. And if you practice with me a lot, you know that I'm an advocate for not using the block necessarily underneath the hand, so that you use your own weight to support you here. Inhale, bend into your left knee, come back into a warrior two. You can adjust the distance of your feet, flip your palms behind you, and then clasp your hands to the webbing. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze your elbows behind you, and then straighten your arms, lower your fist, raise your heart. And then exhale, tip forward. And just pause and breathe. Relax the expression on your face. Inhale, press into your feet. And come up. Return back into this warrior two shape. Pivot your right heel up and step forward. And shake out your legs. Okay, so we're gonna do one last little flow. We're gonna incorporate something that we worked on earlier. Place weight into your right foot, raise your left leg up, push back for the heel. Okay, but this time we're gonna stay in a crescent lunge shape. Okay, so make sure that your feet are an adequate distance apart, meaning you can sustain this, okay? And then take your hands to Swabhava Mudra. Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, open up into Prana Mudra. And you guessed it, gather your hands forward. Allow your right arm to dive underneath the left. Reach for your shoulder blades so that your elbows stack, or come into Garudasana arms. Inhale here. And this pass through exhale, keep your legs in crescent lunge and start to dive your elbows in towards your belly, and then maybe gaze down at your right toes. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, press into your right foot and come up. And this time you have the option, if you would like, to, as you gather your elbows in, maybe pulse and pull your left thigh forward by bending through the left knee. Inhale, press into your left foot, straighten the leg and raise your fingertips up. And exhale, pulse in. And this time as you inhale, straighten your left leg, unwind, come back into Prana Mudra. And as you exhale, raise your arms up, palms to touch, and then open up into a warrior two. Press into your right foot, tip back, reverse triangle. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down, bend into your right knee, and raise your left leg up. Raise your left heel up, I should say. Gaze forward, and then step forward. Shake out your legs. Okay, let's do that little pulsation on the other side. Roll all the way up. Place weight into your left foot. Raise your right leg up. Exhale, press your foot back. Crescent lunge. And again, before you do anything at all, just make sure that you feel stable on this back leg. That's gonna support you. Hands at Swabhava Mudra. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, open up Prana Mudra. Gather your fingertips forward. This time, left arm underneath the right. Either give yourself a giant hug or Garudasana arms. Inhale, raise up, gaze up. In this pass through, let's just practice our balance by diving the elbows in and gazing down. It's a giant movement. Inhale, press into your feet, raise your arms up. This time you have the option of imagining that this was a string tied to the middle of your right thigh, pulling it forward as you gather in. Inhale, press into your right foot, straighten the leg, raise your arms. And then exhale, gather in. Inhale, press into your foot, rise up. And then open up into Prana Mudra. Raise your arms up. And then exhale, open up into Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse triangle, press into your left foot, straighten the leg and tip back. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. But this time, walk your hands towards the side of your mat space, turn your toes and straighten your legs. So let's just pause here. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. Ground down into your left hand, and as you inhale, trace the inside edge of your left hand with your right fingertips, and then rotate your torso to the right. Raise your arm up. Exhale, swim your right hand down. Let's do that on the other side. Right hand down. Trace the inside edge of your right arm with your left fingertips. Rotate your torso to the left. Raise your arm up. Exhale, swim your arm down. Let's just repeat this pattern on the left and the right a few more times. Just remember that the inhale is the kind of unfurling and opening. And the exhale is swimming the hand down. Let's do this one more time on the right. And then the left. Now you have an opportunity to walk your hands back, bend your knees, and then fold forward in this wide-legged forward fold. Press down into your palms, gaze forward, and then just start to come back into a low lunge towards the front of your mat space. It doesn't matter which foot is in front, because you'll press down into your palms and step your front foot back to a plank position, top of a push-up. Inhale here, and then exhale, make your way onto your belly, either by lowering your knees or hugging your elbows in and lowering down so that your chin and your heart land at the same time. Untuck your toes. Stack your palms underneath your forehead and just rest here in a pranam, a full body bow. My favorite variation is the stacking of the hands underneath the forehead. Or if you want to take the actual variation of pranam, you can bring your palms to touch and slide your fingers forward and let your forehead and nose touch the earth. Just pause here and breathe for another round of breath or two. Right, gaze forward. And then from here, start to walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet down, anchor your pelvis, and then stretch your belly forward, and then lower your forearms and palms down. Spread through your fingers, then open up your heart. Like you were trying to pull your heart through the pillars of your arms. You can just move your head in a really free way. There's a shape that we're eventually going to build to that we have the option to do. So we just need to do a few more preparatory shapes before we get there. Okay. So now lower your belly down, but you're gonna take your right arm, your right forearm, and then lower it to about a 45-degree angle with the palm down. And start to pull your left heel in towards your glute. Take your left hand and you're gonna sweep it behind you. So you've got options here. You can just reach for the outside edge of your foot, pull the heel in for a quad stretch. Here's option 2. You can press your palm into the top of your foot so that your fingers are now kind of tickling your ankle. Or you can swivel your fingers so they're facing in the same direction as your toes. It's going to require a hell of a lot of push down with the elbow and forearm on the right hand. And then if you have this variation, you can turn back towards your left toes and then keep pushing the heel down. You're going to feel this a lot in your shoulders. So just pause and breathe here. Just remember, one is not better than the other. There's just all variations of the similar shape. Okay. Slide your hand down your ankle and shin and release the foot without flinging it. Okay. So replace your left hand down at about a 45-degree angle and do the same thing on the other side. Pulling the right heel in and then reaching your right hand back. In this moment, choose which variation you would like to do, not which one I'm doing or whoever else is doing. It's kind of the beauty of not being able to see one another. There's no pressure to do what someone else is doing. Okay, slide your right hand down your ankle and shin. Release your foot without flinging it. Okay, so let's pick up the backs of our legs. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and place your chin down, but gaze forward. Lift up your toes. And then now, like a pendulum, press down into your palms. As you lower your toes, now raise your heart up for cobra, but with the backs of your legs activated. And then exhale, lower. So do that same thing again. Lift up your toes. Now press into your palms, lower your toes, but lift your heart up. Exhale, lower. Okay, so now you can do that exact same thing, but extending your hands back, reaching for your toes, and then raising your chest, heart, and toes up, your arms up. But move your shoulders away from your earlobes for Shalabhasana. Exhale, lower. So that's an option. Another option is bend both of your knees, hug the heels in, reach for the outsides of your feet. Okay. So we're gonna do something a little bit weird here. Can you lift up your butt slightly? You're gonna almost like feel like you're lifting your pubic bone up. And then now push your pelvis down. Press your feet into your hands and now raise your heart up. And then lower. If you have a clasp of your feet, you can keep it. Can you do that again? It's really hard to do through a screen, but you're gonna feel like you were lifting up by your tailbone, like lifting your butt up. And then now anchor your pelvis down. So you've got leverage to press your feet into your hands and raise your chest. And of course, if you're doing Shalabhasana, just do that. And then exhale, lower. Release your feet. Take your hands underneath your forehead stacked. Come back into this pranam. Just start to sway your hips from side to side, like you were swaying your sacrum and releasing your lower back. And then from here, keep your forehead down and just start to glide your left knee. Bend your left knee and glide it towards the earth to the left. So your left knee is at about a 90-degree angle. Push your knee away from you. So you're in this half frog shape. Relax both of your feet and ankles. Can you keep your sacrum about level? Now, pick up your forehead. Swivel your left hand forward slightly. Take your right hand and then thread it underneath your belly. Reach your right hand forward and to the left as much as you can. And now, place the side of your head down. And then roll towards your right side body. And then lower your left shoulder to the earth so you're in this really deep supine twist. And because I'm trying to keep my left knee anchored, my left shoulder won't roll back completely. So you can keep your left hand on your rib cage, your belly, or side body. Take your time. Just come back onto your belly, extending both of your legs out, stacking your palms underneath your forehead. And then we'll make our way to the other side. And glide your right knee over to the right. And then in this moment, pull your knee away from you slightly, just to create a little bit more space along your hip crease, and then keeping your sacrum level. Start to pick up your forehead. And swivel your left hand forward slightly, so you've got space to slide your left arm underneath you. Reach towards the right as much as you can, and then roll onto your left side body. Just come into a twist on this side. And for now, just place your right hand on your body. When we do this in yin, we tend to prop ourselves up a little bit more because we hold it for longer. Just be here for about 3 rounds of breath. Take your time. Make your way onto your belly. Extend your legs and stack your palms underneath your forehead. You can do that same sway of your hip side to side. You can also lift up your feet and sway your feet from left to right like windshield wipers. If your toes are lifted, you can lower them and then roll onto your back. Once you're on your back, bring your feet to the edges of your mat and allow your knees to knock together. Just pause and breathe here. And start to heel toe your feet towards one another. Use the strength of your low belly and your low back anchored and pull your thighs in. And then maybe reach for the outsides of your feet, bringing your knees wide and flexing your toes towards your face for a happy baby. If you have a hold of your feet, let's do this like a swaying action so that as one heel gathers in, you stretch out through the other heel, straightening the legs slightly. And then switch. It's like a happy baby sway. Then return to your back. Release the outsides of your feet and gather your knees in. And press your low back down and peel the back of your head up. And bring your nose towards your kneecaps. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, start to release your legs and your arms for Shavasana. We'll just do that little pulsation to close. Allow your body to rest. Inhale, fill your body with breath. And exhale, relax your eyes down the sides of your face. Inhale, fill up with breath. And exhale, allow the edges of your nose and cheeks to melt down. Inhale, fill up with breath. Exhale, relax through your jaw, the palate of your mouth and tongue. Relax your whole body here. And breathe, and I'll call you back momentarily. So you can keep your body relaxed and your eyes closed. And you're at home, so you can stay exactly as you are. If you're ready to wake up your body, start with your fingers and toes. Reach your arms up and overhead. Gather your knees in towards your chest and roll to one side. And just pause here in a fetal position. Press your palms into the earth and come up to sitting. For one last moment, return your hands back to Svabhava Mudra. Breathing into the base of your hands. As we bow our head towards our heart, we honor one another. When you're ready, lift your gaze